Good morning, everyone. Hope you are well and had a good Shabbos. We are continuing with the learning of the Mishnayos, and we are dedicating our learning this morning Le'ilai Nishmas Leah Bas Bible, Tivia Bas Mordechai, Avram ben David Slavin, Shlomo ben Yisrael Morris, Eliezer ben Shmuel Teret, Eliezer Shalom ben Avram Shmuel Beres, Tzipora Fegela Bas Reuven Baruch, Shalom ben Eli Ali, Bena Bas Bible, from Shoshana Bas Yaakov Shmuel. And in addition, those for the Yortzites today, Aaron David ben Tzvi, Yeshua ben Ephraim, Yitzchak ben Moshe HaKohen Band, Aaron David ben Tzvi, and Eliezer ben Aaron Halevi. We wish their respective families long life and any simchas. So, the weather's back. We can enjoy the good weather. So now we can excitedly look forward as we head towards the end of the first chapter of Ethics of the Fathers. Isn't that phenomenal, how much we are learning in a relatively short space of time every single day? And are going to complete probably tomorrow the first chapter of Ethics of the Fathers, and so many fascinating lessons we've learned along the way. Let's continue our journey, and it carries on as follows. So Rabban Gamliel Haya Omer. So we finish with Hillel and Shammai. We move on to Rabban Gamliel. Rabban Gamliel Haya Omer. Asay lechat Rav. Make for yourself a teacher. V'istalik min hasofik, and remove yourself from a situation of uncertainty and doubt. V'al tarbe la'aseh umodos. And you shouldn't give excess tithes by estimating instead of measuring. Okay, that's the Mishnah. So the obvious question that we have when we look at this Mishnah is that it seems a bit repetitive. We learned earlier in Ethics of the Fathers, we learned already that you should make for yourself a teacher, right? So if you have already learned earlier that you should make a teacher, why are we repeating it here? And of course, we know that in Judaism, nothing is repeated without good reason. So the rabbis say that when Rabbi Gamliel comes along and suggests Asay lecha Rav, there is a couple of explanations and suggestions. Number one is that in reality, when he suggests a Rav, he's talking about a different type of Rav. Earlier, we were discussing about somebody who would be your main teacher, right? He would teach you precepts, concepts. He would learn with you like we're doing. Whereas this statement here by Rabbi Gamliel, Asay lecha Rav, is referring to the idea that you should ensure you have somebody, a rabbi that you can turn to, your local Orthodox rabbi, and I'm not pushing for business, but the idea is that you have somebody, right? If you have questions in your life, if you don't know whether something's kosher or not kosher, or whether something's right or wrong, yeah. So that would be the person to turn to. Contentiously, here's a question that you could ask your rabbi, okay? And it's one that I would ask my rabbi. So Black Lives Matter, is it something we should support or not? I'm talking about the fact that it's under the banner. I'm not talking about the concept of Black Lives Matter, that's a given. But what about the actual movement, right? Which there are question marks hanging over it. Do you ignore the bad and look at the good, or the fact that it is tainted by, many feel it's tainted in some respects towards Israel? Does that mean that it tarnishes it completely and we're not allowed to support it? An interesting question and debate we can have another time. Let's move on. So the next statement is v'istalik min hasofik. You shouldn't put yourself in a situation of doubt, right? Of uncertainty, right? In other words, you should make sure that you make the necessary provisions so that you are avoiding any questions that could arise. So it could be questions in regards to kashrut, so you keep a clear divide between the two. It could be in terms of the way we speak about people. Did I speak badly about that person or not? Right, so what am I going to do to make sure that I don't put myself in that situation, that delicate situation of either compromising on confidentiality or speaking badly? Or maybe when it comes to other people, I'm not going to speak about them, right? I'm going to be careful about the way I speak, make some fences, make some boundaries. That's the second statement, right? And it applies to all areas of law that we should try to ensure that our lives we avoid uncertainty and putting ourselves in situations of quandary and doubt. Number three, right? Again, the whole idea of doubt. that you have to make sure that you know what you have given to tithes into charity, and therefore you're not going to get yourself into doubt, and therefore be questioning about whether you gave too much or too little. The next one, we're going to move on to one more Mishnah today since we still have time. Shimon ben Omer. So Shimon was Shimon ben Rabbi Gamliel. He was the son, and he said as follows: Kol Yamai Gudalti ben Chachomim. All my days, imagine the son of Rabbi Gamliel, all my days I have been brought up, raised amongst great sages. V'lo matzasi leguf tov ela shtika. And I found nothing better for a person than silence. What an astounding comment. For that alone, it was worth tuning in. We'll come back to it in a minute, but you think about that. V'lo hamedrash hu ha'ika ela ha'maisa. He says, however important study is, practical Judaism, right? Not just living in a theoretical world. It's wonderful to speak about kindness and chesed and morality and ethics, but we have to live it, not just think it. That's what he is saying. Okay, Judaism is about actions. We know when the Jews stood at the foot of Mount Sinai, what did they say? Na'aseh v'nishma. We will do and we will listen. The first thing is to actually start doing. Afterwards, we can discuss about the concepts themselves. The third statement in this by Shimon ben Gamliel, so he says that, and one who talks excessively brings on sin. We've already discussed this in the previous statement, the idea of, in the previous Mishnah, by his father, the idea of speaking excessively. So there are two statements by Shimon, Rav Shimon ben Gamliel, who's the son of Rabban Gamliel, and he said about that the greatest thing, he always dwelt around sages, and the greatest gift, he said, was shtika, to be quiet, right? There is so much noise in our world and in our lives, but sometimes if we are able to take time and to sit back and have silence, we're able to hear different voices. We're able not just to drown out the sounds around us with our own voice, but we're able to listen to other people. That is the basis for learning, for growing, for developing, right? And it's not just about learning from other people, but I like to get up early because I have, especially in COVID, then you have the time to be able to hear oneself, just to go through the process of thinking, doing what's called a cheshbon nefesh, a process of analysis, self-reflexivity. What am I doing? Am I happy with where I'm behaving? Is there room for improvement? You only can do that when you actually have a specific time, designated time, where you can set time aside and think about yourself and your life and what you are doing. And in fact, it puts you in a position of greater certainty, because as you go through the day, you'll know, actually, I've already thought about this and I know that this is the right course or this is the right behavior. So that is that. Let's just see if there's anything else to say on this Mishnah, and then we'll wrap it up for today. So he said, of course, he said, of course, it goes without saying that we have to learn. We have to learn for learning's sake, and we have to learn in order to understand what we are meant to do, right? Ignorance is bliss, but if you are ignorant, then you don't know what you're meant to be doing, and one can go through one's lives in huge areas of one's lives where one simply does what one's always done because that's what one's always done. But you actually, if you picked up a book and you started reading and learning so many wonderful resources online and in books, one would actually realize that by making slight alterations, tweaks to one's life, one can do exactly what one's meant to do rather than what one thinks one should be doing. So that's the end of the Mishnah. We carry on with Psalm 23. Lovely to welcome those that are still joining us. Let's just find the right sheet. Okay. So we'll start with Psalm 23. We'll say it together. Psalm 23, the Lord is my shepherd. Okay. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He causes me to lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even when I walk in the valley of darkness, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You set a table before me in the presence of my adversaries. You anointed my head with oil, my cup overflows. May only goodness and kindness pursue me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord for the length of days. We move on to the memorial prayer, which we'll recite for all those that would be saying Kaddish, for those that have Yortzeit today, for those that are in their year. We wish them and their respective families long life. El Mali Rachamim Shoichin Bam Roimim Hamatzim Nuchana Al Kan Peshchina Bamalois Kedoshim Eterim Kizorikim Asirim Es Nishmais Lea Bas Bible Sevia Bas Mordechai Avram ben David Slavin Shlomo ben Yisrael Morris Eliezer ben Shmuel Teret Eliezer Shalom ben Avram Shmuel Beres Tzipor Fegel Bas Reuven Baruch Shalom ben Elieli Ben Bas Bible from Moshe Shana Bas Yaakov Shmuel Aaron David ben Tzvi, Yoshua ben Ephraim, Yitzchak ben Moshe HaKohen Band, Eliezer ben Aaron Halevi, Shalchuli Alamam Began Eden Teimenu Chasam Lachin Balrachamim, Yasti Rein Beseita Kanafabli Alamim, Yitzrob Chaim Yitzishmasam Adonai Yonach Lasam, V'yanuchu B'shlomish Gavam and Amar Amen. Long life wishes to all. We now conclude with the Refuah Shlema prayer for all those that are unwell. We'll leave a pause for those to insert the names of those that are requiring a Refuah Shlema. Misha Berach Avaseinu Avram Yitzchak Yaakov Moshe Aaron David Shlomo Yivach Rapes Acholim Bavo Shanu Mispalim Bavuram Bischasei HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachim Aleihem Lachem Alefosam Vishlach Lem Refuah Shlema in the Shemaim Lachol Ben Basof Shachol Yisrael Refuah Nefesh Refuah Guf Hashav Galas Malka Riva Nomar Amen. Wish everyone well. Have a great day. Please God, look forward to seeing you tomorrow night. Well, there's a fireside chat with Rabbi Kiva and Batya tonight. And then, of course, tomorrow we have our Ask the Rabbi. And then throughout the week, there's more programs, in particular, the mental health and well-being seminar on Wednesday I would draw your attention to. Have a great day. Have a great week. And we look forward to seeing you in the course of the week. Enjoy the good weather.